Kira met Ryan at a corporate event at the bank where she worked as a loan officer. He came with a friend from the security department. Tall, smiling, neat beard, attentive gaze. They talked all evening, and for the first time in a long time, she felt like she had met her person. Ryan was an engineer at a tech company. He lived alone, talked about his plans, his desire to start a family. No red flags. No oddities. 6 months later he proposed. Kira accepted without hesitation. She should have paid closer attention to what happened next. The first crack appeared a month after the engagement. They were going over the wedding guest list. Kira wanted 30 people, maybe fewer. The budget was limited, and she had no interest in feeding distant cousins Ryan had met twice in his life. Mom said we need to invite all relatives, he said, not looking up from his phone. Otherwise, she'll be offended. Kira put down her notebook. Ryan, we're paying for this. He shrugged. Mom thinks it's the right thing to do. She stayed quiet, told herself it was a minor detail, that they could work it out, that he just didn't want to fight with his mother before the wedding. But minor details have a way of multiplying. Linda Peterson, Ryan's mother, was a strong, determined woman who had spent her entire career as a supervisor at the same tech company where her son now worked. She was used to being in charge. Her husband had passed away a decade earlier, and since then, her entire world had contracted around her only child. She came to Ryan's apartment nearly every day, brought food, checked the cleanliness, advised on what to wear, what to buy, where to go. Ryan didn't object. He had grown up inside that system and saw nothing unusual about it. Kira tried to be friendly, smiled, thanked her for the pies, agreed with her suggestions. Linda Peterson didn't want agreement. She wanted obedience. The dress at Bridal Bliss on Sunset, she announced one evening. I know someone there. She'll give a discount. Thank you, Kira said carefully, but I've already chosen a dress. Where? A boutique on 5th Avenue. It suits me really well. Linda Peterson frowned. That's expensive. Why overpay? I've made up my mind. The mother-in-law looked at Ryan, waiting. Ryan shrugged. Mom, it's her dress. Are you going to pay for it? I'll buy it myself, Kira said flatly. Linda Peterson snorted and walked into the kitchen. A minute later, the sound of pots clanging followed her out. Kira looked at her fiancé. He was looking at his phone as if nothing had happened. Ryan, do you really not see the problem? What problem? He looked up, genuinely confused. That your mother is deciding what I wear to my own wedding. She just wants to help. Don't take it to heart. Kira pressed her lips together and said nothing. Decided it would be the last time. That everything would settle after the wedding. It did not settle. Linda Peterson quietly took over the wedding arrangements. She chose the restaurant, approved the menu, ordered the cars. All without asking Kira. When Kira tried to object, the response came without apology. I've already paid. It's too late to argue. With what money? My own. Ryan transferred it to me. Kira turned to her fiancé. He looked away. Ryan, we agreed we'd decide everything together. But Mom had already started. I didn't want to offend her. And I can be offended? He had nothing to say. Kira left and slammed the door. Ryan called an hour later, apologized, promised it wouldn't happen again. She came back, told herself it was pre-wedding stress, that he just didn't want conflict before the important day. But something inside her had already started to tighten. 2 weeks before the wedding, Linda Peterson arrived with a large bag. Kira was there too. They were sorting through invitations when the mother-in-law planted the bag on the table and began unpacking. Towels, bed linen, pots, pans. Your dowry, she announced proudly. All new. Good quality. Kira looked at the items. The towels had embroidery from the 1980s. The pots were heavy cast iron. Thank you, Linda Peterson, but I already have cookware. These are better. Cast iron is eternal. I use non-stick. Non-stick is harmful. Teflon flakes into your food. Ryan, tell her. Ryan hesitated. Well, Mom, if Kira's used to what she has, she'll get used to proper ones. I didn't go to all this trouble for nothing. Kira felt something boiling inside her. She stood up, picked up her bag and walked to the hallway. I'm going home. Ryan followed her out. Don't be offended. She meant well. Ryan, she is imposing her things, her rules, her opinions on me, and you stand there silent. I'm not silent. I told you you could use your own pans. You said it like you were doing me a favor. She pulled up her jacket zipper. This is my life. My kitchen. My things. And your mother acts as if I'm already obligated to obey her. She just cares. She controls. Ryan sighed. Just bear with it a little longer. Everything will settle down after the wedding. She looked at him for a long moment. Nodded. Left. But inside her, something cold and quiet had taken root. A week before the wedding, Ryan asked Kira for access to her bank card. We'll be family, he said. It'll be more convenient if I can pay with it, just in case. In case of what? What if you need something and don't have your card? Or you get sick? Ryan, if I need something, I'll give you the number in the moment. Why do you need permanent access? That's distrust. That's common sense. He took offense, went quiet, muttered that she was paranoid, and disappeared into the kitchen. Kira sat on the couch staring at nothing. The knot of anxiety in her chest pulled tighter. The day they were supposed to go to the courthouse to finalize wedding documents, Kira arrived at Ryan's apartment in a good mood. She wanted to believe the hard part was behind them. She carried a folder of papers and told herself they were almost through it. Linda Peterson opened the door. Ryan was in the shower. They sat at the kitchen table with tea. The mother-in-law studied her with the careful, evaluating look of a woman who had already decided what she thought. Listen, dearest Kira, she began in the voice of a patient mentor. You work at a bank, yes? Good salary. She tilted her head. Ryan isn't doing so well financially, so I wanted to suggest something practical. How about you give us your card? The PIN. So I can help, buy groceries when you're at work, cover things if something urgent comes up. Kira set her cup down slowly. Why do you need my card, Linda Peterson? Well, we're family. It'll be convenient. Ryan has his own card. There's not much on it. You know he barely earns enough at that company. Something snapped inside Kira. Clean and quiet, like a wire reaching its limit. I will not give you access to my card. The mother-in-law's face hardened. Why not? Because it's my money. Well, I thought we were family. We are not family yet. And even when we marry, that does not mean you manage my finances. Linda Peterson shot to her feet. You've gone completely crazy. You don't care about family? You only think about yourself. I think about common sense. Ryan. She screamed toward the bathroom. Come here. Ryan appeared in sweatpants and a t-shirt, hair still wet. What happened? Your fiancé refuses to help the family. I asked for the card PIN and she's turning up her nose. Ryan looked from his mother to Kira. Kira waited. She waited for him to say something in her defense. To explain to his mother how absurd this was. To be just once the partner he had promised to be. Instead, Ryan frowned. Kira, what's the big deal? Mom's not a stranger. Kira felt the air leave the room. Are you serious? She just wants to help with groceries. Things like that. Ryan. I don't need her help. And she will not get access to my card. Linda Peterson clutched her chest. Oh, I can't take this. Such a miser. Ryan, can you imagine who you're marrying? Can you see what she's like now before the wedding? What do you think happens after? Mom, calm down. I will not calm down. Kira stood. Nothing will happen after the wedding. Because there won't be a wedding. She picked up her bag. I'm leaving. The silence that followed was total. Ryan turned slowly. What? I said there won't be a wedding. She walked to the door. Her pulse was in her temples, but inside there was a clarity she hadn't felt in months. Kira, wait. She didn't turn around. She pulled the door open and stepped into the hallway. Kira, wait, damn it. He came after her, grabbed her shoulder, spun her around. Where are you going? Home. Over nonsense? It's not nonsense, Ryan. It's my life. And I'm not handing control of it to your mother. No one is taking anything. His voice rose. She wanted to help. And you wanted me to agree with everything. He clenched his fists. Kira, you're being completely insolent. We're not even married and you're already making scenes, giving orders, refusing my mother. She looked at him. This man who 1 week ago had sworn his love to her. Now calling her insolent for not surrendering her pin. Ryan, do you hear what you're saying? I hear that I got involved with an egoist. She turned and walked toward the stairs. He caught up, grabbed her arm, pulled her back hard. You're not going anywhere. We're discussing this now. Let go. I won't. She tried to pull free. He held tighter. His eyes had gone somewhere she didn't recognize. Somewhere behind them, Linda Peterson stood in the apartment doorway, lamenting. And then something in Ryan broke completely. He swung. Kira moved on instinct, sharp, fast, a step to the side. She dodged. And in the same motion she drove her knee directly into him. The sound Ryan made was high and strained and airless. He doubled over, clutched himself, tried to stay upright, slid down the wall and crumpled to the floor. Kira stood over him, breathing hard. Adrenaline flooded her system. Her hands shook. She felt no pity. Linda Peterson rushed forward, wailing. Ryan, my son, what has she done to you? Kira picked up her bag. She looked at the scene. Her fiancé curled on the hallway floor, his mother sobbing over him, the chipped paint on the walls of a life she had almost walked into. Goodbye, she said. She went down the stairs. Behind her, screaming threats, promises to call the police. She didn't look back. She walked outside, pulled out her phone and blocked Ryan everywhere, messengers, social networks, contacts, all of it. Then she called a taxi and went home. The driver tried to make conversation twice. After one look at her face, he didn't try again. At home, Kira kicked off her shoes, lay on the couch and cried for half an hour. Not from pain. Not from self-pity. From relief. Because she understood, finally and completely, that she had gotten out just in time. Ryan called from unknown numbers for days. She hung up. He wrote from new accounts. She blocked them. Then Linda Peterson appeared outside the bank, shouting on the sidewalk, calling Kira a homewrecker, a hysteric, a woman who had destroyed her son's life. Kira walked past without a word. The bank security guard politely asked Linda Peterson to leave the premises. A few days later, a message arrived from Ryan. I'm ashamed of what happened. I'm sorry. Let's try again. I'll talk to Mom. Kira read it, smiled, deleted it. A month later, her friend called with news. Your ex already found someone new. I saw them at a cafe. She's pretty, very quiet. His mom was sitting right next to them, choosing what she'd order for her. Kira laughed genuinely from the chest. Good. He found exactly what he was looking for. She didn't rush into anything after that. She worked, saw friends, took weekend trips, gave herself the time she hadn't known she needed. Sometimes she thought about that hallway, that moment, and each time she felt proud of herself. Not for the kick, for the clarity, for knowing when it mattered that she didn't have to stay. A year and a half later, she met Ethan. A programmer, lived alone, no mother managing his every move. On their third date, she told him the whole story. Ryan, the mother-in-law, the card, the hallway. Ethan listened, thought for a moment and said, You did the right thing. People like that have to be stopped immediately. They got married a year later. No lavish banquet. Just the closest people, a courthouse, and a slow song at the end of the evening. Ethan held her close, arms around her waist. Happy? He asked. Very, she said. And she meant it. The memory of that day still lived somewhere inside her. Ryan on the floor, Linda Peterson wailing, the cold rush of walking out. But it didn't burn anymore. It had become something quieter. A reminder. A line she had drawn once under pressure, when it was hardest and most necessary. She never let anyone cross it again.